And we also have integrating digital solutions for an agile garment supply chain. Let's see. I'm ready to hand the stage over here in just a moment. Are we ready?
Yes.
Excellent. Take it away.
Okay. Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome from Vietnam. It's great to have you here with us. My name is Thi Phan, a member of Kim Năng Consulting. And I'm very happy to share that this is our second year representing Vietnam and Vietnam Lean community to host a sharing sections at the Lean Global Connections. Our Vietnam Lean community has been going very active. Over the years, we have many more supporters and organized many dynamic activities and events that receive strong contribution and engagement from our members. In recent years, we focus not only on growing nationally, but also on connecting with more international lean practitioners to exchange global insight and collaboration opportunities. So our sincere appreciation to the agency for supporting us joining this event. I'm very happy to introduce our speakers, Mr. Ken Tay from Tessellation Apparel Solutions. For over 2 decades, Mr. Ken has been the general director overseeing 3 factories. Now he lists as the Senior Director of Business Development for the group. Tessellation is a leading name in textile and apparel industry. His company has been a very devoted pioneer of innovation in the sectors. They always engage in innovation and capability building programs such as the Lean 2.0 of Nike or the Gender Equality and Returns of the Better Work, both with Kim Dang as the main facilitators. Now, Mr. Ken's topic is about integrating digital solutions for an agile garment supply chain. In these sections, he will deep dive into how his company adopted the digitalizations to optimize the value stream and how they could connect the material supply with smart operations. They were able to bring the C2B, the cut-to-box model into reality, and that helped them to gain a significant reductions in lead time by 50 to 60%. And I believe that we are all excited to learn from his experience today. And so please join me in welcoming Mr. Kent.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think let me share my materials. Okay, I hope that you all can see my materials on screens. Yeah, my name is Kent. I'm the Senior Director from the Tessellation Apparel Solutions of Tessellation Group. First, I'd like to thank the Lean Global Network for inviting me to share our experience in Lean implementation in our operations. Today, my key topic will be on speed to market and how to, creating lean and agile supply chains in our operations. Yeah, let's start. We'll start with introductions. And we also mentioned what's the most important factors for successful lean implementations. We also share our integrated supply chain model for fabric and garment operations. And also we'll share our garment making express manufacturing line. We also share our cut box model as I think let's start with the introductions. Our group are very committed to environmental challenges and responsible growth. I think our sustainability strategy is focused on 3 P and 1 C. P mean the planet, how to find solutions to use less water, less pollutions. I think to the environment's energy reductions, products creating more sustainable green products, and the people, of course, people sustainability, the health, the well-being of our people, and of course, how it benefits the community. Our sustainability is very aligned with the SDG goal with the United Nations. But of course, we only address about 10 out of the 17 Sustainable Development Goal of the United Nations. our group consists of some of the best-in-class operations, starting with the top, Destination Apparel Solutions, whereby we are providing consulting services to the textile and apparel industry. Compass is the accessory arm, providing accessory. Vertex is the yarn, and Golden Field on your top right, I think, is on the fabric sourcing. Combo Venture is our technology arm of our, I think, company, whereby our combo system provides automation solutions to garment making. Summation Solutions is more of our RFID, and Exponents and Rontech is more, I think, offer greens technology, water treatments, waterless dyeing, technology, etc. Simpic is more AI, fabric developments, and also 3D design. We have also two retail brands called Pi and Determinant, which is focusing on, I think, China and Hong Kong markets and Asia markets like Vietnam and Singapore as well. In our operations, we believe that I think Lean is about leadership. Yeah, it's very important. For sustainable Lean journey, the leaders need to have a good understanding of the Lean concept and Lean strategy. And because we believe that leadership commitments and consistency in the policy developments is the key factors for successful Lean implementations. We expect our leaders, either the CEO, the general manager, or the factory manager, to be at the center of the Lean executions. We don't believe that by dedicate 100% to department managers or even external consultant, which may have very good subject knowledge, but it's not too effective in our experience. Yeah. I think for sales to market, I think digitization is a must. Okay, I think a lot of people talk about that. Okay, we just share a short roadmap of our digitization model, and we start with I think the product developments in terms of the fabric design. How to use AI to generate fabrics, trim as well. Fabric design. Sampling, of course, 3D sample shortens the lead times a lot, but the productions, how do we use, RFID trackings, virtual sample, and of course, the traceability as well. I think, but today my focus will be more, I think, on the manufacturing side, how do we shorten the supply chain, between the fabrics and the garment mill. Yeah. For us, I think we believe that to have a good, I think, supply chains is need to have an integrated supply chain model. So we have the fabric mill is very, very close to our garment factories. And then we developed partnerships. We established a demand pool system from the fabrics to the garments factories. I think the key point here is, the pooling actually is from the garment manufacturing execution system, whereby the demand pool being by dyeing batch, normally 600 to 1,000 kg. So our fabric mill is building a Kanban, so that we can pool from, I think, batch by batch to our garments manufacturing planning system. Traditionally, I think most of the supply chains are having their fabrics produced in one factories, and then usually they produce 100% of the fabric before they ship to the garment factories. And in Vietnam case, almost 70% of material come from overseas, so it's quite far, and the shipment lead time could take 10 to 14 days, including the trims. It's all sequential productions. One have to complete before the next can start. So it takes a very long time, 80 to 90 days typically, or some even longer. But over here, we have an integrated supply chains whereby our fabric mill is just an hour away. So when the fabric is ready, this is the first batch is ready, they can deliver to the garment factory to start productions. So the time is kind of overlapping. We allowed, I think, the garment mills to start. We don't have to wait for the 20,000 kg of the fabrics to be ready. We can start with just small batch productions, but continuously. Yeah. So in that case, I think we are able to reduce our lead time of 80 to 90 days to now about 40 to 50 days for fabrics and garment itself. Yeah, which has reduced the lead time by almost 40 to 50%. This is very, very significant in terms of our response to our customer requirements. Yeah. Short-term garments lead time is also one area. I think in production lead time it consists of the process time and delay. Let's share a little bit on garment. Your garment value-added process, which is on the green box, usually cutting, embroidery, sewing, washing, ironing, and packing. And the total lead time, yeah, but a lot of time are being wasted, I think, on the transport, the storage, the counting, the recordings, yeah. So those are considered as waste or non-value-added processes, yeah. And usually it's 80-20 or sometimes it's even 90-10, yeah. In traditionals, I think improvement approach, I think most factory will focus on how to make the value-added process faster, cutting faster, sewing faster. Yeah, which is important. Okay, you can save, but our total lead time probably you save 10% because, yeah. But I think for our lean waste focus, we want to focus on more on the non-value added or waste processes, whereby we can save 40% if we can say half. Of course, we still want to make the value added process faster so we can save more. So let's have a look at one of these segments, from sewing to packing, Traditionally, a lot of sewing process is done in batch. After they're finished, they will store it, then go for the next process in QC. After QC, then you install again. So every department, these are break into several departments, sewing department, QA department, packing departments, are very fragmented. Yeah, high width, a lot of time are wasted in the queuing and a lot of movement, transportations, all these departments may in different building, counting, storage, etc. So typically, I think in most garment factories, the sewing to packing lead time and width could be 5 to 10 days, some even higher, 14 to 25 days. Yeah, this is our factory actually 16 years ago. If your factory producing 30,000 pieces, so the total width can have 6,500,000 pieces. Yeah, like our inputs area, it could be 1 to 2,000 pieces, some could be 5 or 6,000 pieces. The sewing line also, yeah, batch productions, very high width, could be 1,000 pieces every line. And after sewing, waiting for QC, also very high width, 5 to 10,000 pieces. And so after QC, you go for, I think, pressing, ironing, and packing, also very, very, very high. Yeah. Because of this complicated relationship, many departments have their own priorities, and a lot of data collections, and we don't really have one person purely responsible. I think very silo mentality, the priority, every department is different, Actually, to sew a garment, typically it take a t-shirt typically take 20 minutes. The actual process time, inspection 2 minutes, pressing 2 minutes, polypack also 2 minutes. Yeah. So mean that after 26 minutes, you should have garment for packing continuously, right? Yeah. But most departments, because of batch processing, they have different area. For us, it's all in one building, but for some other factory, it's in different buildings. Yeah. So the movement is a lot, yeah. So what we do is we create the express line whereby we align, the sewing, the inspection, the pressing into a single. So we pull the cut panel from the cutting and we flow into the cutters. Yeah, it's a first in, first out, no long queue, all one-step rules, from cut to pack is just 2 to 3 hours. Just imagine from the previous, 5 to 10 days, now it's just 2 to 3 hours. Just show you one of the layout. you can see that, this sewing is a big group of people. Then the QC, inspect, and pressing is all within the 3-meter areas. Yeah, we're very, very fast. And of course, I think we are able to reduce the weight by almost 80-90%, also movement by 60 to 80%, is 3 to 8 times faster. Yeah, we also have less data tracking, less defect because we can feedback very fast. The inventory in the line is just half a day. Yeah, just a few hundred pieces. Yeah. So one of the common bottleneck, I think, in this industry, of course, I think is productivity and efficiency drop during style change. How do we address this? Yeah. Most factories, would take 2 days to 1 week, to recover the target efficiency during the style change. Yeah. So we ask ourselves, yeah, can we do it in 2 to 4 hours, or just 30 to 40 minutes, yeah. So we actually learned from other industry, the professional Formula One. I'm sure a lot of people see Formula One. How fast does a Formula One team change 4 tires during a pit stop? Yeah, just have a look at how fast they change. Yeah, in this video you can see that they changed 4 tires in just less than 2 seconds. Yeah. If you were to change a tire in a workshop, probably will take 1 to 2 hours. Yeah, or sometimes half a day, which is very, very long time. Yeah. So I think why it's so important for the ones, to have a quick pit stops. Just look at the race result. Usually between the champion and the seconds, it's just less than 1 second. Yeah. So the time difference is very, very short between the winners and the loser. So in Formula One, it's not just how fast you drive, it's also how much you stop. Yeah, how long you stop during the style change. Yeah, why they can do it so fast, or why I think style change is also important in garment, because we also find that 60 to 70% of vision loss in garment is due to style change. So in Formula One, I think it's very important to have quick pit stops. I think in sewing, I think it's also very important to have a very quick style change. So I think why Formula One can change so fast, I think they have very advanced planning. The car, they know exactly what time. They have very good teamwork. They know their role and responsibilities. Everyone have very, very clear targets. And of course, they have standardized too. And they practice a lot, a few thousand times, before they go into the race. And of course, in our team, we also set up what we call PSC team for style change. Yeah, consists of our technicians, QA, supervisor, IE. Yeah. So we learn from Formula One. It's like like stage 1, what style is coming in. We developed the design, the equipment, the machine, the template. Stage 2, 1 week before, we confirm the style, exact time to change. The machine is ready. We test it. We practice the bottleneck process. And stage 3, of course, on the day, everybody step in to help the style change. So from this way, we are able to reduce actually significantly in terms of style change. We make sure the day before a style change, 0 is the day of style change, and 2 days, how fast we recover. I can see that over the periods, we have able to reduce the style change drop of less than 5% from the previous 40 to 50% drop in efficiency. Yeah. So this is very, very significant. Yeah. So the next one, of course, I think is how can we expand, our, I think, models, and to be even more efficient, even faster. Yeah. So that's why I think we developed what we call the cut box model. So it's we call super express line. We're able to cut and pack on the same day. Yeah, not on the different day, but on the same day itself. Yeah. In fact, the process actually is quite simple. We just linking, our express line, to the front processors. which is usually the spreading, the cutting, and the embroidery process. We do keep some inventory in between, yeah. So this will become like the manufacturing line by itself, yeah. So means we link the whole factory. So the factory is very a bit long, so it's a one-way flow, continuous flow, very smooth flow between one area to another. Yeah. So cutting, yeah, so it's still spreading. Every line have their own cutting tables. But of course, cutting machine, you can move from table to table because you don't need to cut, every hours, because the demands, one batch, you can cut, easily 600 to 800 pieces. And of course, we have our own, I think, embroidery machines, for each line. If you need embroidery, if you don't need, I think it's easier for you to fit in. So in that way, I think we're able to reduce the whole throughput time, the flow of 14 to 18 days to just, 2 to 3 days. Yeah, which is a significant improvements over the traditional model of batch processing. Yeah. So I think the key benefits of this express line is they have a super short, I think we call the DCT, or dynamic cycle time, or the lead time from cuttings, to I think packing. Typically, even our express line, we has reduced the lead time to 5 to 7 days compared to the traditional of 14 to 20 days. Yeah. This is even a breakthrough, yeah. And we're able to comprehensive lean implementations throughout the whole, internal supply chain. The layout, the mindsets, the visual management, yeah. We reduce a lot of transportations, we reduce a lot of recordings needed from one area to another's. And of course, this line are very, very independent, very, very agile, because we have vertical ownerships, every line have one supervisor oversee the whole flow. The technical support will help them to enable this. Actually, it's we kind of create, a teams, winning team models. Yeah, where I think the factories actually is able to operate independently. Yeah. So I think this is highly critical in terms of enabling, our factories to be very agile. Yeah. So yeah, this overall has my sharings. Any questions from anyone who likes to ask about this?
I think that we have one questions from the audience. So
Yes.
the first question is that can you share more about the ROI, the return on investment, and the success indicator when you invested in a lot of new technology and methodologies?
Actually, it's yeah, okay, thank you for the questions. In fact, I think it's ROI for our key measurement usually I think is less than 2 years. We will select, I think, those equipments and also automation devices, which usually were not more than 3 years. Typically, is less than 2 years. In fact, I would like to say that I think I think people appreciate, right? The labor costs continue to increase, but I think the machine depreciates. It's a lot of machines, equipments, and technology becomes I would say that quite affordable. The price are quite competitive, so it's time, I think, people to move on. Those that put on the automations, earlier, they will gain the benefit, because after a few years, your equipment depreciations will actually reduce to a very low level, and that's the fruits of when I think you will harvest, I think, from this kind of technology investment. Yeah.
Thank you for that. your answer. And we have another questions. So, what are some major difficulties during the transforming from the traditional model and layout to the new express manufacturing line and the C2B model? So, can you share with us about that?
Oh yeah, I think most important thing is you know the mindsets changes, you know, and the people actually is the main one. You can see that the layout are very simple. But to do it actually it's not easy. You need to align a lot of things to get it done, right? Yeah. So I think when we started these projects, our first goal is to get our people believe that you know these express line models will help them to improve their work. The traditional model is match borders, so you have a lot of WIP, so you don't have to worry much about no work, you know. But when you come to these express line models, you need to balance the process start time better. So you need to spend a lot of time in the preparations, you know, because one of the challenge we have is most of the some customer will say, oh, the packing material will come, you know, 1 week later after the sewing. It doesn't work for us because if the packing materials actually don't come on time, because you can see from sewing until the packing, it's just 2 to 3 hours. You cannot wait for 1 week, you know, for the materials to come in. So one of the challenge is the planning, you know, to I think work with our customer to say that, you know, yeah, can we give us the packing material on time? Yeah, so that we can actually pack when we actually fit. You know. For us, we are just creating like the high speed train, right? Yeah, so that's you know, when you pull into the sewing line, you need to flow into the cartons. Yeah, so as 2 areas, as I said, one summarize. One area is how to balance between the sewing, the inspections and the packing, you know, the speed, you know, how do you balance out? And secondly, of course, is the material on time, so that you can pack when you are ready. This is one of the big challenges. Of course, another is, you know, because this line are very independent, you have to train your people to accept that, you know, you have to, for a sewing supervisor, you need to take care of the packing. You know, you need to have the take care of the, I think, is pressing. You know, most of the traditional factories, you know, our supervisor have different responsibility. They will not have a full responsibility. They want to take, you know, sewing only take care of the sewing. You know, the pressing only take care of the pressing, and the packing take care of the packing, and the QA take care of QA. So they don't have kind of like a vertical, I think, responsibility, which is one of the biggest problem, you know, if you want to tackle. So start with the people first. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I think we have just 1 minute for our last questions. So, how to sustain the method of changing over from the old model to new model, and any key advice for the company who want to follow the similar path to your company?
Oh, I think we have been doing this for almost all of our products now for needs for wovens. Okay. I think one thing is yeah, you have to believe that it works. It's not easy. Okay, it looks very simple, but it may not be easy. So there's a lot of things time you need to prepare to make sure that the people understand the leans. You know, you're not just improve your silo mentality, you know, silo improvement. It's not. You have to look into the whole throughput, the whole supply chain. Okay, yeah. So yeah, believe in leans. Okay, understand the lean too. Reorganize your factories. You know, reduce all the movement. Set your priority right. You know, so we're looking at the whole supply chain improvement rather than just individual department efficiency improvement. Yeah. Okay.
And that's also the end of our section. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.